guys, it's Rich with another Tarot Talk video. In this video, I'm doing a deck review of the Housewives Tarot. This is a fun little deck that I bought for funsies because it looked cute, and I see it in the background of a lot of people's videos, and I've not actually looked at the cards, and whenever I started looking at the cards online, I kind of got intrigued by it, so I went ahead and bought it, and it came in. And first things first, like I say, I am into a really nicely presented tarot deck. I'm a sucker for a good package. It kind of gets my engine revving, pun intended, if you get that. But yeah, this is like a really cool way to market the tarot. Like I said, it's called the Housewives Tarot, and it is a domestic divination kit with deck and instruction book. And this is produced by Cork Books. Just a really fun deck. It is done by Paul Keppel and Jude Buffum. I hope I'm saying those correctly. And first of all, I have to say, it comes in this little like recipe box throwback to whenever people actually use recipe boxes. You know what? I still do, and to an extent, and I will actually do a video on that in the future. But it is set up like a little recipe box. It is so damn cute. This is one of the few tarot decks I'm actually going to keep. It's probably the only tarot deck that I'm actually going to keep in its original box because it is done and displayed so cutely and so fantastically that I could not put this tarot deck in a bag. I can't. I just can't do it. But anyway, like I said, it's done like a little recipe book. You have the little white book, the companion book to it, and I'll get to that in a second. But one thing I want to say before going into that is it gives these little like recipe card dividers in there, which is really kind of funny in a way that they did that, and I love that they did it. They have them separated between the major arcana and the minor arcana in here. And then it has the instruction book tab in the very back. I don't know if you guys can see that up there. But on the back of each one of these, they give a recipe. And it gives directions on how to make, whatever it is that it's telling you to make here. So let me just go ahead and read this one to you. This is the Ice Box Fortune Cake, and this is for use with the Neapolitan spread, which is on page 10 of the book. So yeah, it actually tells you how to make this and to use it with a certain spread, which I find so kitschy and so funny and so wonderful that I may actually do that. This is the Divinated Eggs for use with the dinette spread on page 11. So we know that there's at least 2 spreads that are given. And let's see, this back one I think is one too. This is the Madame Marlena's Mystical Martini, which sounds like a fun time. And this is for use with the Martini spread on page 14. So there's at least 3 different card spreads that are presented in this deck that we know of before even looking. So this one doesn't have anything on it. It's like the little copyright information. So like I said, wonderful presentation. Love the presentation. I'll show you guys an up close whenever I actually bring you guys down to review the deck with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, the quote-unquote traditional tarot. So whenever I go ahead and do the comparison between the two, I will also show you guys an up close of the box and how it's like a little recipe box. Like I said, it's just so damn cute. I can't put this tarot deck in a bag. So anyway, about the book. it gives a little legend of the Housewives Tarot, the mystical Housewives Tarot. It talks about conducting a reading. It gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spreads that you can do that come from this book. One of them, I'm going to be completely honest, looks like the regular 3-card spread, but that's the Neapolitan one. So you have to make the what was it? The Icebox Fortune Cake for use with the Neapolitan spread. So you have to do it that way, just for funsies. And then it goes right into the cards after that. Little tiny book, not much to it. This little book puts into perspective in correlation with the cards being the housewives, and it's like a throwback. I think it's supposed to be back to the 1950s. The early 1950s housewife. So it's a throwback to the 1950s. The art on it is kind of like the old advertisements and whatnot. It's really kind of awesomely done. It's like looking through old newspapers, which I absolutely love, but it's done in a very, very cool way. Anyway, the little description that it gives is just a little blurb. It's nothing fantastic. It's nothing huge. In fact, I wish they would have taken out the picture to add more to the meaning, or even a reversal of it. It does give the little, couple keyword meanings to it. So, a nice little book, but nothing really to write home about. I really find it more fun to read the little blurbs that they give about, like this one is about the moon. A nightly ritual of mud masks, curlers, and hairnets can provide much more than just peaches and cream skin and perfect curls. While your body gets its beauty rest, your unconscious mind is providing dreams with hints and tips for your waking hours. The moon suggests that listening to your instincts and intuitions can help you through times of change and uncertainty. So, like I said, it gives a little blurb. It doesn't go into deep detail about why the imagery was chosen or anything like that. But you know what? I bought this deck more because it was a fun little deck. It looked fun, it looked cool, it looked kitschy, and it is in fact all of those things. I can't tell you how much I was just smiling ear to ear whenever I first opened this deck, because I did not expect it to look like a little recipe box, which is just super cute. It's so damn fun. And so yeah, anyway, getting past all the drooling over the box and the packaging and the so-so review of the book, let me go ahead and bring you guys down, and we're going to go through this card by card and compare it to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. So I'll catch you guys in the next portion of the video. Okay, so again, I gotta show you guys this box because this is like super cool. This is the little box that it comes in. It even has a spot here where you can put this deck belongs to, and then you can put your name. I'm not going to write my name on there because I don't want to. And nice hard cardboard, so I can definitely keep it in this box if I do wish. But look at their display. Isn't that awesome? I absolutely love the display quality that has gone into this deck. And another thing that I want to show you guys is it has some fantastic little artwork on here. Just like the old 50s style artwork and advertising type of pieces. There's one of the recipe cards. I'm not going to show you guys the recipes, but it does have really cool little recipes on the back. And some of them I cannot wait to make. And I want to show you guys, that's the book. See how they have the 50s style type of advertising pieces there. Awesome. So I'm gonna set that aside, and let's talk about the back. The back is super cute. It is made to look like a picnic cloth. So the old style picnic cloth, I will say, comparing these to the Rider-Waite-Smith, this deck is thicker. Let's try to get it in the frame there, Rich. So this deck is thicker than the Rider-Waite-Smith by US Games. So yeah, just a little difference in the thickness of the cards here and there. They are thicker. They feel thicker. They feel a little bit more rigid because it is the picnic checker style. They are reversible, and whenever I show you the fronts, you could trim these if you're careful. Some of them, at least one of them here, yeah, some of them actually go outside of the border. So if you end up trimming this deck, then you could end up taking away some of the artwork. So I do want to warn against that before anybody buys it intending to trim the deck. Now we'll go through the cards and flip through the cards, and like I said, this is more of a novelty type of deck. I don't know if I really see myself using this deck because it is such a novelty type of deck. So here's one thing that I do have a gripe about. The Empress is number 2 in this deck when normally it's number 3. So that's something that I don't like. It didn't keep to the traditional style for the numbering. Either that or this is a one-off misprint, but hey, whatever. And there's the High Priestess. So the Empress and the High Priestess have been altered on this one, and everybody else has been moved down one spot up until the Hierophant. So kind of confusing, but you know what? It's still workable. We can still work with this deck in the way that it is. It's not the normal. This reminds me of a Lover's Leap. It really does. Anyway, it's not like the normal strength and justice being mixed up. Sometimes you get those in decks, but it's not that normal mixing up of the strength and justice cards. So it's kind of odd that they did that. I don't think there's a reasoning why they did that. If there is, I didn't see it in here. I didn't get to read through the book in its entirety, so I'm not sure. And I like how they took the food and they've changed the names on these. Everything expires, real salmonella, a full quart of liquid, and it's the death card. You know, they put a lot of thought into the reasonings for what they put on the card. So I do like that. Temperance, the mixture of joy and sorrow, justice and anger. See, I do like that they put that in there. The Devil is Valium, cigarettes, martinis, cake, what is that? Ready cheese, instant coffee, spork, and I think that's a TV dinner down there. I mean, it's It's fun. It's whimsical. You got your Jello mold for the tower. And that actually reminds me, I don't know if it's purposefully done this way, but it reminds me of, the record Whipped Cream and Other Things. Somebody out there will know which record that is. And I can't remember the band that did that put that out. But it was, the record name was Whipped Cream and Other Delights. That's what it was. But I can't remember who did it. So somebody out there will remember. Somebody out there will know the exact record I'm thinking of and post it in the comments below, I do hope. So that's what that one reminds me of. Oh, I love this. The Judgment card. The world. And everything's in a recipe box. So I'm going to set these aside because I want to make sure that they go behind the Major Arcana tab in the recipe box. So let me just set those aside. And then we go on to swords, which I like that they used cleavers in this one. And then you have a fork and a knife in this. So kind of different. I like how they have the pie cutters or the cake cutters piercing a heart-shaped cake. They put a lot of thought into this deck. They really did. And I really like that they did that. There's some decks that are just, they're kind of slapped together and it's like, I'm not really feeling it. This one, even though they kept their artistic expression, they kept it very simple, very clean, and they kept it in a 50s style. Even though they kept it that way and have very plain images, they put a lot of work into the thought process behind it, which I very much appreciate whenever somebody puts in a lot of thought process into a tarot deck. The Ten of Swords. How clever is that you pick a pincushion for the Ten of Swords? The Page of Swords, a little kid running with scissors. How appropriate. You have the 50s greaser, very iconic of that time frame. This imagery is just, it's simple, but fantastic. The Two of Wands, a mop and a broom. Oh, these are lovely. Oh, the Three of Wands. I see the third one. The toilet brush. Love it. I think this is the victory. Everybody's seeing a victory happen because the house is cleaning itself. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on with that. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by this and kind of just giggling at the way that they did it. I think it's so ingenious the way that they put this together to look like a 1950s newspaper ad. Heck, I've seen enough of them to know that, this is very much what you would sort of see in the old catalogs, in the newspapers and stuff like that. This is very much the type of stuff that you would see. And I love that they actually took the time to put it in that type of aspect and also keep it true to the time period. I don't think I see anything that is outside of the 1950s time period, so they did do a great job on that. I don't know if I'm going to actually do readings with this deck, but I am going to enjoy the hell out of this deck just because it is so much of a novelty, and it's so funny the way that they did some of this and put it together. And you know what? I actually think I have some of these glasses in my garage right now, believe it or not. Yeah. Some of this is definitely stuff that I have sold at the flea market, that I've had in my eBay store. And for the Pentacles, they used plates, their dishware and whatnot. Oh, it's just so cleverly done. I love it. And I really do kind of like the cardstock that they used for this. It's very nicely done. This it's kind of funny because this is what every woman from the 1950s would do with their good dish set. Even still today, I believe my step-grandmother probably still has the same dish set in her china hutch that she's had in there my entire life, and we've never used those dishes. And this is kind of just like the miser on the Four of Pentacles. I kind of really love that they picked this imagery for the Four of Pentacles, because the woman of the house safeguarding her china hutch, not letting anybody use those plates, is very much a real thing. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that has a grandmother that has done that. I think, heck, I still probably have family members that still do that to this day. Besides my step-grandmother, that these same dishes are in the china hutch. Now, this one is very appropriate for the Five of Pentacles because, you know, you're showing tragedy, you're showing things that are broken, like the broken foot for the crippled person in the traditional, the quote-unquote traditional deck. I mean, this imagery is very, very appropriate for what it is, and it's even better whenever you see it side by side, rather than just looking at it one at a time and not having anything to compare it to. The perfect house. I might eventually do a reading with this deck, but as of right now, probably not. Look, even the colors for the sides are all different. The background for each suit is different, so I kind of like that. It wouldn't probably be good for reading for that. But then again, whenever you turn it this way, you can't see it, but you can see it from the side. Anyway, that probably wouldn't be a big deal for a reading, but as far as I go, I don't know if I'm going to read with this deck. I do know that it is a total novelty for me right now to have this, and it is something that I absolutely enjoy and I'm laughing about, and I'm having a great time just looking at the artwork, reflecting the artwork of the 1950s and the dutiful housewife. It's also kind of like a screw you to the dutiful housewife, you know, hey, screw you, we're doing tarot and the house is going to clean itself, that type of thing, because, you know, wasn't a great time for women back then, in in the entirety, but yeah. This is kind of a throwback to that, showing the struggles that women have had, especially in the 1950s, as being the dutiful housewife. So I do like that. It is a throwback and sort of pays homage to the women of the 1950s who brought us through that, so we can have more equality now between men and women. So I do appreciate that they do call forward the aspects of what were expected of women at the time, and kind of poke fun at it a little bit, but also kind of bring it to the forefront, like, hey, deal with this. Don't forget this type of reminder to people. So I do like that this deck has come out. I absolutely love that it's in such a cute little display type of box. It is completely fun to use as far as looking through and whatnot. I love the recipes that are on there. I can't wait to try them out, and if I end up doing readings with this, you will definitely see them on Christo-Paganism.com as an option for a reading. So, and I will also let you guys know via YouTube if I end up doing readings with the Housewives Tarot. But anyway, that's all that I have to say right now about the Housewives Tarot. Until next week, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.